Tasha's Cauldron of Everything introduced psionic spells with the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. But sometimes I just wish that there were more psionic spells.
I totally know how you feel, Ted, but fortunately, over on D&D Beyond, there is a whole D&D community that builds all kinds of homebrew stuff. So we can take a look and see what kind of homebrew psionic spells are over there and rate the top 10.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds.
I guess it's time to spell out the best psionic spells in this video.
Like many of our top 10 homebrew videos we've done, series we've done for D&D Beyond, we are going to kind of revisit that, but we're going to look at specifically psionic spells. In order to do that, you have to go over, look at spells, and you can actually use the psionic tag, which will then bring them up. And we're going to sort them by the most, well, we consider the most popular, or at least the ones that have been viewed the most. So these are the ones, in our opinion, that people seem to be the most interested in. And then we'll pick a couple to talk about. I am going to bring up D&D Beyond on my handy dandy device here in order to go over the list of what we're calling the top 10. We've got Daze, a cantrip, Precognition, Psionic Pulse, another cantrip, Alphine Draining Kiss is another cantrip, Telekinetic Thrust is another cantrip, Brain Kill, Mind Blast, Psionic Blast reworked, Hypnotic Strike, and Telekinetic Shove, which is also a cantrip. So there's a bunch of spells and cantrips mixed in here for all kinds of psionic goodness to add into your game.
You know, when I was looking through this list, there's a number of things that immediately jumped out at me. I like the fact that there was a decent amount of diversity in the spell levels, including, as Dave says, a number of cantrips that were really cool. A couple of things really jumped out at me, like, man, I want to know what this is about. So, like, I hope that you guys, you know, following along, want to go look at that list and you know, look at some of these spells, because they do sound really cool.
Yeah, and you can go check it out. I believe you can look at the homebrew stuff with a free account, but you have to have an account and log in to take a look at it. You can also follow along with us. Hey, it's only fair to mention D&D Beyond is a channel sponsor, and you know, we're so grateful for D&D Beyond because they make our games so much easier. We'll put a link down in the description so that you can go check out D&D Beyond, as well as you can also check out the things we're talking about over there as well.
But if you're looking for a way to get more information on psionic spells, you can look at the article over on the website, Top 10 D&D Psionic Spells by a Factor of 3. Doug breaks it down, looks at, you know, not only the views, but other categories as well. So why not go check that out as well? But if you're looking for another way to support Nerdarchy into making videos like this and those awesome articles over on the website, there's always Patreon. You can support us over there.
Yeah, over on Patreon, we are making 5e content for both players and DMs alike. You're going to receive things like magic items, drop-in encounters. We make feats, spells, subclasses, races, and so much more. There's even an opportunity to game with Nerdarchy. There will be a link in the description, as well as one of these cards up here. Also, you can go download a free sample to kind of see what kind of rewards you can look forward to.
So as I was saying, there's a lot of the cool spells that were over on D&D Beyond. Brain Kill absolutely, you know, reached out to me. Hypnotic Thrust was like, okay, you know, what is this one about? But for my spell,
Hypnotic Strike,
yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. But for my spell that I picked, that I feel it was worth talking about, was Mind Blast. You know, not only is that, you know, psionic terminology that goes back throughout the editions. It's a 4th level spell. It's a 60-foot cone. Obviously, it originates from yourself. Casting time of 1 action. Verbal somatic. Duration instantaneous. School is evocation. It's an intelligence saving throw, and it does psychic damage. You project crippling psychic energy in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make an intelligence saving throw, taking 6d8 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 5th level or higher, the damage increases by 1d8 for each spell slot above 4th. And this is by the batch.
So I went with Telekinetic Shove. It's a cantrip, 1 action. It's a range of 60 feet, and it only has a somatic component. And instantaneous. School is evocation. It's a strength save. You make a quick gesture towards the target you can see within range. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or take die 4 force damage. And if it is size large or smaller, it also is pushed 10 feet directly away from you. The spell affects more than one target when you reach higher levels. 2 targets at 5th, 3 targets at 11th, and 4 targets at 17th. The targets must be within 30 feet of each other when you target them. I went with this one because to me it's just totally like the force shove. And I also like the fact that it's not a very damaging spell, but as it becomes more powerful, you get to hit more targets at once and kind of like gives you a wider range of battlefield control. But I don't think it like makes it like super powerful or OP. You're just spreading it out.
Sure. I went with, Mind Blast again. That name to me is very evocative of psionic names. But you could, because it's got a verbal component to it, you could either have this just be like a simple, I speak this phrase, and this blast of silent energy goes out and damages as a crippling force to everyone in that area. Or this could totally just be like a psychic scream, that's heard in that area, and you could have the person and it just again does the exact same thing but has that visual element. So the very opposite sides of that psionic spectrum to me both fit within there, and it absolutely falls within the realm of what a 4th level spell could do or should do. So I'm like, all right, I like it, I'd use it, love it.
Also, real quick, I forgot to mention it was made by I Am Spasta, is the creator of the telekinetic shove cantrip. And also, so it was funny too to see Daze on there because Daze was a 3rd edition spell, and it's also one we used to joke about all the time because it's like you run out of spells and you're down to your cantrips, and then next thing you know, you're just handing out Dazes like they're candy.
Daze. He passed.
Well, of course, until you run out of cantrips, because back in 3rd edition you had cantrips, but you only had so many
cantrips and orisons. You had only so many you could do.
Yeah, so psionic spells have been expanded if you're willing to use the community created content, and it's going to be hit and miss. Some of it is really good. Sometimes there's really good concepts and ideas, and the mechanics need to be worked a little bit before you put them in your game. So with all this stuff, you always have to run it by your DM first, and if you're the DM, you have to look at it and see how it's going to affect your game. And also, I would recommend the addendum if you're the DM of going, hey, if I'm willing to allow it, I'm going to allow it for now. We'll see how it works out in the game. If it turns out that it's too powerful or not powerful enough, we're going to adjust later on, just so you know.
Yeah, that it's always wise to look at homebrew content. Anything that goes in this direction, just be like, you need to put on the kid gloves and work with it and be willing to make changes. We always let's err on the side of underpowered, and if it feels like, oh, this needs to be scaled up, it's easier to scale up than it is to scale down.
Yeah, players never like when you take something away. They're usually okay if you give them extra stuff, though.
It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, this ability is just underpowered. I'm going to give you a couple extra dice on it. Cool, that's happy. This is too powerful. I'm going to take stuff away. No, I want my dice.
You've ruined my character. But hey, let us know what you think. Do you allow homebrew content in your games? Have you made homebrew content? Let us know and share it down in the comments below with the Nerdarchy community.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those fun things like, share, subscribe, even go ahead and click on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video.
Quick reminder, we drop new videos here on the channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but hey, you can't wait till then. That's okay, we've got you covered. You can check the card up here to check out our last top 10 homebrew about Artificer specialties.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.